Let's take a look at the method of completing the square and how do you do that? All right, on the left-hand side, we got x squared plus 10x. So we're going to write this down. And what we need is figure out what is it that I need to add to make that x squared plus 10x a perfect square. Here's what you're going to do. First, you are going to highlight the number in front of x. And we call this number b. Okay, so b is 10. Then you are going to divide it by 2. So start with 10. Then you're going to divide it by 2. So divide by 2. You're going to get 5. Once you get that, you're going to square. Okay, square it. So 5 squared, that's going to be 25. And that's the number that you are missing over here that you need to add. Now, when you add in a number, you cannot add it only on one side. You have to have both sides because otherwise the equation is not going to be balanced. Okay, what you need to figure out next is how do I write that left-hand side as a perfect square? Here's how I do that. I will say x plus, then I'm going to look at what was my intermediate step right here. What number was I getting? Well, I got a number 5, right? So this is going to be x plus 5. And then on the other side, it's just going to be 96 plus 25. Okay, you're going to use a calculator, but let me just do this right here. So 96 plus 25, 6 plus 5 is 11, and then 1 here. So that would be 10 and 2, so 121. Okay, this is going to be 121. Now that one I didn't finish writing because should be complete square. Okay, so what do you do next? Once you write the left-hand side as a complete square, you're going to use something called the square root property. Here's how that works. You're going to take the square root of both sides, okay? So I am taking the square root of the left-hand side, and I'm also taking the square root of the right-hand side. What do I get? Now, on the left-hand side, the square and the square root will cancel each other out, and you're going to get x plus 5 equal. Now, what about on the right-hand side? Well, here I have square root of 121, and that's actually 11. Okay, so we're going to put 11 right here. However, the square root property, and this is very important, so many students get this wrong. You need to remember that when you're using the square root property, you actually get two answers. You don't just get the positive root, but you also get the negative root. So here, you actually need to put plus minus that square root, okay? And so this is going to be plus minus 11. Now, how do I get the final answer? Okay, so you need to look at two possibilities. Possibly the right-hand side is 11, and then we solve this for x. So if x plus 5 is equal to 11, how do you solve that for x? Well, you're going to subtract 5 from both sides, and then you're going to get x equals, what is it, 11 minus 5? That will be 6. That's your first answer. Okay, now let's look at the second answer. The second answer, we now look at what if it's negative 11. X plus 5 equals negative 11. Again, we are going to subtract 5 from both sides, and that's going to give us x equals negative 16. So it looks to me like I got two answers, 6 and negative 16. Now, if I want to check that, which I highly recommend, so if you think this is 6 and negative 16, check it using Desmos. So we're going to open the calculator and we're going to plug in each of these values back into the original equation, just the left-hand side, and see if we're going to get a match on the right-hand side. 6 squared plus 10 multiplied by 6, is that equal 96? Yes. So we are good. The next step is to plug in the other answer, which is negative 16. Now, when you are plugging a negative number, you always must put it in parentheses. I replace x with parentheses, negative 16 here, negative 16 here. And that is also 96, which means that I got this correct.